Hi guys, welcome back. So today I'm gonna come back to you guys with another handbag video. Do you guys hear that? If you guys hear anything, it's my dog snoring at my feet because her life is so hard. So today I'm gonna be comparing two handbags that I don't believe have been compared before, and it's the Celine Luggage in the nano size and the Givenchy Antigona in the mini size. So these bags are very comparable in height and depth and length. They're relatively the same size, and honestly they're relatively similar in construction as well. As you can see, both of them have a top handle, and both of them do come with a strap that are inside that I will show you guys. I'm gonna go over the pros and cons of both of them and overall which one I like more. And I just really want to do this video because I mean, I don't think a lot of people realize how similar these bags are, and just in case you were on the market for, you know, a bag that's reasonable but still crossbody and convenient and still holds a lot, you know, that way I could kind of help you guys narrow down your choices. And I'm going to be giving like a fair comparison of both of them like I always do. But before I get started, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys what's on my lips, which is Chanel Boy, and it's the Old Boy from the Rouge Coco Shine, which I like better because it has more of a pink. And then my nails are still beige, but it's like week old Chanel beige, so it's like dirty beige, so like don't pay any mind to them. So yeah. Okay, so first off, both of these bags are classified as quote-unquote mini. So I do have another handbag video that is up where I talk about my best 3 mini handbags, and those I classify as true mini handbags because they're approximately 5 by 7. They're super tiny. It's like a borderline clutch. It just happens to have a chain. So those I consider minis. Even though these are technically considered quote-unquote mini, to me these are just miniatures of their larger counterparts. These are the smaller sizes. Actually, these are the smallest sizes of the handbags of their counterparts. So we all know that the Antigona is, you know, it has a bigger version, and the Celine Luggage has a bigger version. I just opted to buy the smaller ones because as of lately I've been downsizing. And yes, I do have a Harry Potter golden snitch attached to my Celine bag. It was given to me by someone I really care about. So this is yeah, this snitch isn't going anywhere. And like I said before, both of them are very similar in size, very similar in construction. The only obvious difference is their shape really, but both of them come with a crossbody handle. The capacity is pretty much the same. I got them in very similar leather. So I feel like this is a really good comparison video because these bags are very similar but also at the same time very different, and they have very big key differences that might make or break your decision whether, you know, you're skewed to buying one or the other. But let's go ahead and start off with the Celine Nano Luggage. So the Celine Nano Luggage is literally the smallest version of the Celine Luggage. It does come with like the typical shape of the gusseted sides, the top handle, which I feel like resembles a robot face. You know, nothing in the back except this little piece of leather here that I don't really pay attention to. Inside, I tend to store the strap. So when I'm not using it, I don't have the strap attached to it. I just go ahead and coil it up, leave it in the bag along with the dust bag and some tissue. I like to keep my bags stuffed, and that goes for all of them. I do like to keep them stuffed so that they don't lose their shape. This bag isn't known for losing its shape, but just to take extra precaution, I really, you know, I stuff it so that it doesn't lose its shape. So to start off with the outside, this zipper compartment does open, but I don't make a habit of really putting anything in there. It doesn't, I mean, it goes in pretty deep, but there's not much you could put in there. Maybe like a lipstick or like a business card or something, maybe some receipts, but I don't want it to bulge out right here. I feel like it would distort the leather and the shape, so I just kind of leave that alone. To me, this outside compartment is more decorative than anything. My main compartment is inside, so the inside is lined with suede. There is one slot in here, which apparently I have something in here. Oh, they're little bags to pick up Tofu's poop. So apparently that's what I keep in here, but you can keep like anything flat or discreet that you don't want to slip out too easily. Whatever, your secrets, whatever, you can put whatever you want in there. But there is a flat little slot here. But other than that, it's just one wide open space. And generally with this bag, I can fit my Continental wallet, which is my Louis Vuitton. So it's quite a large wallet, and it fits, I mean, comfortably in here with plenty of room to spare, along with a water bottle, my keys, a coin, this coin purse actually, so my little coin purse that I keep my spare change in, that goes in there, along with a bunch of miscellaneous things. The holding capacity for this bag is quite large. I did get this in a drummed leather. It was between this one and the smooth leather. With the smooth leather, it does look a lot more luxe, but it does scratch more easily, as in like the scratch marks show up a lot more easily because of how shiny it is. With the drummed leather, it suits my lifestyle more because this is intended to be more of like a relaxed casual bag, like a day-to-day bag that I wouldn't have to worry about babying or bumping into corners, which is kind of like a trend that you guys are gonna see with my bags. I don't want to have to worry about babying it or bumping into corners, especially if the bag that I'm using is gonna be day-to-day, which most of my bags are. If I had gotten the smooth leather, having this golden snitch as a charm would not be possible because of how sharp the edges are. This bag would have been totally scratched at this point. So I opted for the drummed leather because the wear is a lot better too. I've seen a couple of the older Celine luggages in the smoother leather, and the wear just, it didn't wear down very well. It kind of looked a little cheap. At least this one, because the leather is drummed and it's textured, not only are you not going to be able to see scratches, but it's going to wear down a lot better. The top also has really careful piping, so the edges are definitely not going to fray. But the structure is very timeless, and like I said, holding capacity is a lot. It's very practical. Obviously, these top handles, they're more for decorative reasons. It's a little too small for you to conveniently carry on the crook of your arm like this. Like, it's just too small. I usually don't carry this bag, just on its own like this. I always have a crossbody strap, which, speaking of which, I'm going to be talking about. Hardware on this one is not gold. It's more of like a rusty silver. It does come with a leather strap. It's not adjustable, but I haven't found it to be an issue. I feel like it hits just the right amount on my body. I'm 5'4". I feel like it hits my hip perfectly, whether I'm wearing it just on the shoulder or crossbody. So the strap comes with 2 lobster clasps that you just go ahead and hook on to the bag like so. The piece does swivel, so you don't have to be concerned about the manner in which you're putting your strap on. But this is what it looks like with a strap on. So this one retails for $2,700. One more thing that I forgot to mention, it does come with a zip closure if you so choose. If you're walking in public, no one can reach in and just grab all your stuff. So when it comes to construction, shape, durability, space, capacity, all that, I feel like it ticks all the boxes. It's the leather, the drum leather, is a very practical leather. The capacity is very spacious. The manufacturing of the bag is very good. The piping is very careful. Everything is perfectly placed. The craftsmanship is on point. The bag doesn't have any feet. So, I mean, if you're concerned about putting it on the floor and it being, scuffed up, that might be something you might be cognizant of. But overall practicality, it's a really good everyday bag, especially for someone who wants to be very hands-free. So this bag does come in a variety of colors. I just opted for red because I didn't have a red staple everyday bag. But that's that on the Celine Nano Luggage. Okay, so now let's move on to the Givenchy Antigona in the mini size. I opted for the color pale pink because I didn't have anything this color. I didn't have like a blushy, nudie, pale, light colored bag. I just have a lot of blacks and taupes and neutrals, mainly blacks. So I opted for this one with the silver hardware. As you can see, this one has two toggles on the side as well for the strap. It does have a zip closure, just like all the other Antigona bags. The front of the bag just has the name Givenchy right here. In the back it is plain and it's actually quite dirty. I need to go ahead and clean that up. And inside, again, when I'm not using the bag, I keep the strap coiled up and on its own. The bag is lined with canvas. It has 3 smaller compartments inside. There's one that you can see right there. This one is a zip compartment that you can use to put anything that you want to be secured in. And then there's 2 elasticized pockets. This one I generally use for my lip products because they're a little bulkier. And then this one I really don't use. I really don't use side pockets because all of my stuff they tend to be compartmentalized anyway. And this one, the holding capacity is quite large as well. Like I said, it holds my Continental wallet just fine. It goes right in, and then there's still plenty of space for other things, along with my coin pouch, a water bottle, keys, a bunch of stuff. So in terms of holding capacity, it's, you know, just as spacious as the Celine Nano. And likewise on the bottom, she doesn't have any feet. So you might have to be a little wary about like where you put her because she might get scuffed on the bottom. And just like the Celine bag, the Givenchy does come in 2 different leathers. It comes in a smooth leather and it comes in a sugar, I think they call it like the sugar leather. It's just a pebbled drum leather, which again, I opted for. At first I really did want the shinier leather because, you know, it looks more luxe, but again, I'm trying to be practical. I knew this bag was meant to be a crossbody bag, and usually with bags that are hands-free for me that are crossbody, I'm not very careful with the way I walk. I guess I swing my hips a lot. So, I mean, this bag has already made some, you know, some contact with some just day-to-day things, and because of the leather, the scratches don't show up, which is a definite plus. The piping and the craftsmanship of the bag is, you know, very well done. The Celine bag has a little more of an exposed piping. This one, not so much. It's more seams. If you're looking for something that's practical, that's not going to scratch very easily, this one's going to be it. We all know the Givenchy Antigona is known for its particular shape, and these smaller bags are made in the same shape and the same style of their larger counterparts. And their larger counterparts do have top handles that are functional that loop through the forearm just fine. These, I mean, this one doesn't loop through my forearm as easily, and it just doesn't look as appealing to wear on my forearm like that. So I always carry it crossbody, and that was the intention when I bought this bag, was to carry it crossbody. Not once did I consider that I would be carrying it on my forearm ever. So speaking of the strap is very similar to the Celine. It is a single leather strap. There's no hardware on it. Spare the adjustable pieces right here. And I did have to adjust the notches, 1 each on either side, just because the bag was a little too long. So I just have it shifted down where it's 2 here and I have 1 empty hole down here, and it's symmetrical, and, you know, I did it to both sides so that it would hit my hip just at the right place and it wouldn't look as awkward. These straps don't come with a lobster clasp. So the mechanisms of both of these pieces are large D-rings with a small gap that is meant to just kind of fit into each other like a puzzle. So I'm gonna see if I can show you guys up close. Okay, so you guys see this D-ring, and just like the other ones, it does swivel, but you guys can see that there's like a tiny gap. This one doesn't have a lobster clasp. This one has a tiny gap here. And if you guys can bear with me, you can see that there's another D-ring right on the bag, but there's a tiny divot right here on the D-ring. And what's meant to happen is that this little gap right here is meant to fit right into the divot, and it hooks right on. So no lobster clasp, just a little bit of maneuvering, and then you have this beautiful strap on your Givenchy Antigona. And they both hit me at about my hip. Again, I'm 5'4", if that's any reference. I know you guys have told me like I should do mod shots, but honestly, like I'm like really insecure about my body for mod shots, so you guys won't be getting mouth shots within the year, maybe in like 2 years when I drop another 20 pounds, like I'll do mouth shots. But as of right now, like you guys are just gonna have to handle my description and just really bear with me. So now that I've gone through the mechanisms and the manufacturing and pretty much the details of both bags, I'm gonna go ahead and go into the pros, cons, what I like, what I don't like about each bag, and then you guys can kind of make your own assessment based on my assessment and my experience. So between the two of them, when it comes to size, they are perfectly comparable. I don't think one is really bigger than the other, and if one is marginally bigger than the other in volume, I haven't really noticed a difference. It hasn't caused a hindrance in my day-to-day activity. I can carry my wallet, I can carry my keys, my coin purse, a bottle of water, my phone, a pen, some mints. I mean, despite the fact that these are mini handbags, they carry quite a bit. When it comes to leather, both of them, the durability is great, the manufacturing is great, the craftsmanship is wonderful. I haven't had any issues with wear and tear. Neither one scratches more easily than the other. For the top handles, neither of them are functional. It's mainly just there as decoration and as, you know, to keep reminiscent of the larger counterparts that these bags did derive from. Like I said, the bottom of each bag, neither of them have feet, so, you know, comparable in that. In size and appearance, both of them are comparable in every single way. So let me break it down to the biggest difference. Let me start with the strap. So with the Celine strap, it's not adjustable. So unfortunately, if you are on the shorter side, you might have to go to, you know, a person who just, you know, works with leather to cut it down for you so that it might be a little more comfortable for you to wear. If you're taller, you might get away with using it as a shoulder bag, but I've had some taller friends and they use it crossbody. It just hits them a little higher. It's not uncomfortable for them. So that's the only downfall of this leather strap, is that it's not customizable. You can't readjust the length at all. What you see is what you get. But I do enjoy the lobster clasp. I feel like it's a very secure clasp. You put it on, it stays on. Overall, for me, it's a really good cross body, you know, strap. Also, let me talk about the shape of this real quick. Because of its shape, it is flat. So when it sits crossbody, it sits against my hip just fine. You know, it doesn't bulge out or anything because it's flat. So it sits against your body pretty snugly and just pretty comfortably. Another thing I want to point out is the zipper compartment. So this zipper compartment, once you open it, it really does bust out real wide. So you're able to see everything that you have inside. It's very easy to navigate in this bag. You can see everything that you have and you don't have to do any special maneuvers. You can just go in and grab whatever it is that you need. So in terms of this bag, the only con that I can possibly think of for anyone who's shorter or even taller than 5'4" is the strap. It's not adjustable, but this one, it opens nice and wide. But because it opens nice and wide, you do have to be more cognizant and just zip it up so that no one can reach in and grab your stuff. It's flat, so it sits really snug against the body. It's a very comfortable bag to wear, and it's just very practical. So let's go back to this bag. Pros of this bag. Let me start with the strap again. The pro of this strap is that it is adjustable. So if you are on the more petite side, you can go ahead and adjust it so that the length, you know, suits your height a little more. Or if you're taller, you can, you know, readjust the length so that it becomes a longer strap. But see, this is exactly my next point. The strap just totally came off, and it's not because it's broken or anything, but because of the mechanism of the strap. So with the Celine bag, as I showed you guys, it is a lobster clasp. Once you hook it on, it just locks into place and it doesn't go anywhere. With this one, like I mentioned, it's not a lobster clasp, it's a D-ring with a slight opening. So just like earlier when I put it on, I had to line up everything perfectly in order to put it on, and it stays on. I'm sure it's meant to stay on, however, it doesn't stay on. So sometimes if I'm leaving my bag just kind of like sitting in a certain position, the ring will just kind of line up perfectly and it'll just slide right off. It's happened before, and it's happened several times as I use this bag, where I leave it sitting and I pick it up and it turns out one strap is completely undone because while it's sitting, it just happened to perfectly line up with the divot and the opening, and the strap just came right off. So that's the most inconvenient thing that I have found with this bag. I really wish that they had used some kind of a lobster clasp, even if they wanted to keep the D-ring, at least have a mechanism where it fully locks. The other thing about the strap that I have an issue with is the fact that, you know, it's great, it's adjustable, but through wearing it, you guys can already see it's starting to happen. This is already starting to kind of fold outward, and same with this one. And that's just from wearing it and it getting caught or whatever. It's gonna start to, this has already started to kind of come out a little bit, and I don't like that. I don't want to eventually have it, you know, just bent outward completely like that. But the biggest qualm I have with this bag are the straps. Again, it's gusseting out already, you know, and just the fact that the straps aren't secured in place really bothers me. And also, like, I would hate it if I'm wearing it one day and just it lines up perfectly and it just falls onto the ground. Like, that would suck. So the other thing about this bag that I kind of have an issue with, I mean, obviously I worked around it, it doesn't bother me too much, but it's the opening. So the way this bag is, you know, created, it's a very closed bag. The opening isn't quite as easily and accessible. You kind of do have to pry it open because the way it's manufactured, it's meant to be kept closed. Imagine once I have my wallet, my phone, my keys, my mints, my pen, a checkbook, like, you know, my makeup. You know, once this bag is filled to capacity, it's very difficult to navigate, and to find something in there, you're literally just gonna have to like fish for it. And that's the only thing, you know, it just doesn't open as widely as the Celine. But with that being said, because it doesn't open as wide, it remains kind of tight like that. But, you know, since it is closed, you don't really have to worry about someone reaching into your bag and grabbing something out of it if you choose not to zip it up, which I tend to choose not to zip it up usually. So because it's, I mean, it's a little more difficult for someone to go in and grab your wallet. The other thing, so since we're talking about the construction of the bag, the construction of this bag, as you can see, is more triangular. The base is wider and it narrows upward to the top. So it's kind of a bulky bag in comparison to the Celine, which, like I said, has a flat side. This one is not so flat. This one is not so flat. This one has kind of a curvature to it. So when it is sitting against your hip in a certain way, it's a little bulky. So even when you're wearing it crossbody, it is kind of like blocky on your side. It doesn't, you know, quite fit as snugly against your hip. And because it kind of sticks out like that, like imagine this is your side, so it just, you guys can see, like, it kind of sticks out, and that way it kind of bumps into things a little more. Like I said earlier, in terms of like sizing, durability, the capacity, the craftsmanship of both bags, beautiful bags, very sturdy, very practical, good for every day. But with the Givenchy, I just have a few more qualms with it. Like, I just have some issues about, it's mainly the strap. I just wish they had done a lobster clasp, or like I said, something that's a little more secure. Overall, I love the shape. I feel like it's a very classic, timeless shape, just the same as the Celine Nano. I feel like these are both very timeless and classic shapes. It's good for anybody who's looking for a great crossbody bag. Like I said, the Celine retails for $27. I believe this one retails for $17, $17.90 or something like that, close to, it's $17.18. So the big difference is $1,000 for a bag that is very similar. But at the end, it's up to you guys. You're just gonna have to try it on. Maybe the issues that I experience, probably you might not experience it, who knows. But between the two of them, I would recommend the Celine Nano, just because I have never had any issues with this one. It's a great day-to-day bag, and it's just so practical, and it fits everything. It's just really good. If you're looking to get the Givenchy, maybe go ahead and get the next size up, which is called the small, and I think that one's the more popular one. Like, it's this exact same shape, it's just bigger. It doesn't come with a crossbody strap, but it does come with a shoulder strap, and I believe on that one the strap doesn't come off, so you wouldn't have to worry about whether or not you're about to lose a strap if you're losing this. So that's the comparison between the two bags. I hope you guys found this video helpful. I hope you guys enjoy my handbag review videos. I mean, I love handbags. I can watch handbag videos all day, every day. I'm always on the hunt for a new bag. But yeah, I mean, if you guys have any questions about handbags or anything, any handbags that you guys want me to talk about in particular or have any questions about, of course, feel free to ask me. You guys know my email. You can DM me on my Instagram. With those two, I tend to get back to you guys pretty fast. If you guys have any questions or comments, you know, of course, comment down below, or like I said, you guys know how to reach me. Let me know down below, you guys, what else you guys want to see from me, like what other video you guys want to see from me. I can go ahead and create it. But yeah, I like feedback from you guys. Like, let me know what you guys want to see so I can continue to film it, because sometimes I do go through dry spells where I don't know what else to film. But with that being said, I hope you guys found this video helpful. Give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys again next time. Bye.